The June 11th, 2025 Ascension Parish Zoning Commission meeting is called to order, 6 o'clock p.m. We're at the Ascension Parish Courthouse, 607 East Worthy Street, Gonzales, Louisiana, 70737, and we are in the council chambers. Ms. Banker, would you do a roll call? The members, please.
Michelle Unitas. Mark Vila.
Here.
Nicholas Miller.
Here.
Max Nasser.
Here.
Wade Shakespeare.
Here.
Randy Kluwat.
Here.
Eric Jones.
Okay, and it's not showing on the agenda, but I'd like to ask Mr. Kluwat to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Have another one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3. Item 3 is the minutes. Thank you, Wade. Item 3 is acceptance of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Scheck-Snyder, second by Mr. Which one of you guys did it? Mr. Kluwat. Any discussion? Let's just cast your votes. Verbal vote, please. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is chairman's comments. I'm going to reserve some comments for a little further down the agenda. Next item is item 5, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Development Code for recommendation for the approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. Item A is zoning review, ID P73667.25, Lot Y-1-A for Dashia Wagaspack. It's located on the north side of LA Highway 933, approximately 700 feet east of LA Highway 44, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential RM to a district to mixed use 2, MU2. So is there someone that is here to represent?
Yes, my name is Deshae Wagaspack, and I'm requesting approval to rezone my property from residential to commercial or mixed use. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to open the public hearing. Did anyone?
No one signed up for this one.
No one signed up to speak, but I'm going to ask, does anyone wish to speak on this item? I neglected to say at the beginning of the meeting you should sign up, so I'm going to allow that. Please state your name and your address.
Ashley Gainyard, 129 Donaldsonville, Louisiana.
No, that's not the Donaldsonville one.
That's not that one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But you know what?
care of you.
Now you have time to go sign a card. Oh, okay. All right. So the public hearing is closed. Do we have a motion or discussion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Miller, Commissioner Miller. Recommend approval, I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? That is Hill? Jones. I'll call him Scheck-Snyder. I'll call him Wagaspack. I'll call him Cloutier. And now you're going to be Mr. Jones or whatever I call you.
Easier name to say.
Any discussion on the motion as made and seconded by the individuals that did so?
Yeah, the only thing I just wanted to double check, and Ms. Wagaspack, if you don't mind, while it's not necessarily, we want to know do you have other plans? I know that currently it is, I think it's non-conforming existing. Are you just trying to bring everything into conformance?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm looking to eventually put it up for sale and would like to have that option.
That's what I just wanted to double check. Thank you so much.
Do we have any further discussion by any of the commissioners? All right, let's cast our votes. We'll do voice vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposition, motion passes. Thank you. Now, the next 2 items on the agenda relate to items for which I'm going to have to abstain because of personal business relationships. So at this time, I'm going to turn the chairmanship over to Vice Chairman Miller, I remembered your name. And I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. So, there you go. You want my chair?
No, you're good, you're good. I can take it from here. All right, item 5B, zoning review ID PZ 367725, Division of McCall Plantation for Evan Bell Corp., located on the north side of LA Highway 405, approximately 2,000 feet east of LA Highway 1 North, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from Conservation District to Mixed Use, Light Industrial, Medium Industrial, and Heavy Industrial District. Open the public hearing.
The applicant's gotta speak first.
Applicant. Is anyone here to speak? No one here to present? Okay. Well, we'll open the public hearing then. Jamaica, anybody to speak? I bet there's somebody.
Gainyard. Yeah. Missed it. Ashley Greenyard.
Come on up, Miss Ashley. Please state your name and address for the record.
Usually pretty bright. I am very tired. Excuse me. My name is Ashley Gainyard, 129 Evangeline Drive in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. I would first like to thank you guys for your time. I would like to oppose that area being rezoned. Simply, I would like you all just to take a look at Modest, the community that's being rezoned to heavy industrial. I'm 48 years old, and I've always known that area to be zoned as a conservative area, simply because there's still natural habitat in Modest that still resides. We still see bald eagles there, we still see deer, we still see the regular habitats that, unfortunately, with the congestions that's happening on the east side, we would like to preserve. We would like to preserve the ruralness of the community. We do know that a lot of people have their eyes on West Ascension, which is, that's trying to buy out property. The river is a hot commodity. We do understand that. We do know we have over 30 industries in Ascension Parish already that can contribute economically to Ascension Parish. And right now, my answer is just no for any more industrial expansion. The sharecroppers that want to sell this property, that is the sharecroppers that made money and came into wealth from the sugarcane industry. And now that the sugarcane industry has ended, the labor is a little different. You got deportation in order. So now we have to have a different tactic to make money, and that money does not and will not go back into Ascension Parish the way that it is proclaimed. The thousands and thousands of jobs that are being offered. The roads, when it was zoned conservative, it clearly states that the road could not handle heavy traffic even for residential. So I don't understand how can it now take the traffic on for industrial work that we already seeing what that looks like in a small community like Donaldsonville. We have congestion now. Never seen that in all the days of my life. And that is not because all those people live there. Those people are driving to a job and they're going home. My husband has worked in industry since I've been with him. He's never had a local job. My son, he's in the Navy. He's never had a local job. He had to drive out of town for his industrial job. So I think y'all got to tell us something different to make us believe that industry is the economical boost for me to agree for rezoning anything else with industry. I'm gonna say no, no, no for everything y'all have on this agenda for more industry in Ascension Parish. Thank you.
I have Amy.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley. It was very well spoken.
And I
Anyone
have
else?
Amy Rofus.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Ann Rolfus, and I live in New Orleans and work with people here in Ascension Parish. Because I'm not familiar with y'all, are one of y'all officially represent the Modest area? No, none of y'all do. Okay. All right. All right. Well, so I will make some comments, a lot of which we could cut and paste from the last hearing when y'all were the Planning Commission, right? A lot of the things that they said about Pelican Point, I think, are true here. But specifically, in terms of the process, and I know Don Bailey went into this in regard to Pelican Point, It's the very same situation here in which people absolutely were not informed. Yes, it was printed in the Gonzales paper, but the only thing that's in the neighborhood is a sign in the mud that was kind of bent over. And it's just lucky that someone happened to see it. So in no way have the people of Modeste been informed or engaged about something that's deeply meaningful to them and to their property. I think one of y'all commented on the Pelican Point community and how long it's been there and the importance of its presence. As y'all probably know, the people of Modeste can trace their families back to the 1800s. So this, too, is a really important community. Let's see, it is currently a conservation district, as y'all probably know, in the master plan, and it seems like a pretty significant deviation to change that. Next, I would like to know, and we'll probably send you a letter about this, but it looks like y'all are want to rezone one parcel in what's part of a much bigger plan here. And I don't quite understand if y'all are planning to just rezone parcel by parcel by parcel. And it would be great to understand that and for y'all to be very transparent and let the neighbors know so that people don't just have to come here and hope that they see a sign stuck in the mud. I want to point out that this hearing tonight conflicts with the town hall in Donaldsonville. So it's pretty inconvenient for people in that they have to decide which one they want to participate in. And then, so those are just some comments on the process and on the situation with that particular property. In general, as Ashley said, there are already over 30 plants in this parish. And y'all may or may not know that it's already that Ascension, this beautiful place, is already the most polluted parish in the whole country from industrial stacks. If you look at air pollution from the stacks, Ascension Parish leads the entire country and has for the last 14 years. That's a lot because of CF Industries, and as y'all probably know, they're one of the companies that wants to expand into this area. So certainly tonight, at a minimum, it feels to me like y'all ought to do for Modeste what was done for Pelican Point and just, get them the studies and everything else that
Thank you, Miss Ann.
deserves to have. Thank y'all.
I have Miss Shimmy White.
Good afternoon. My name is Sherry White. My address is 35133 Wilma Lane, Donaldsonville, Louisiana. I have been a resident of the Modeste area for over 63 years. Generation lived there. It's a community of elderly and disabled individuals, and we would like our land to stay the way that it is. It is a land for a community that consists of people that love each other, that have been there for years. They have already gotten rid of some of our history from there. We've had the Modeste School, the Freedom School, that was destroyed. We have some other areas in the community that are still there. So we do definitely want to conserve that. I'm saying no to rezoning it. We are there. We love our community. We want to stay there. We don't feel that that the people in the Modeste area should be sold out. It shouldn't be profit over people. And as Ms. Ashley stated earlier, the financial gain for the 3 large farmers that own most of the land up there, it worked well as long as they had the individuals there to support them, and they were for it. And now that they want to sell their land, great, sell your land. But the people that live there, we want to continue to live there. Why should a 91-year-old individual by the name of Kenneth Mayer have to deal with industry and pollution and be forced out of his home? Why should an individual by the name of Shirley Scott, 95 years old, have to be told that eventually she has to leave our home? Because one of the things that they wanted to do in the area was they want to relocate all the individuals from that area, and I don't think it's fair. This is an area that there's no, very little crime, if any. I don't even think that we've had any reports. The only time that we see the police department is when they're up there just riding to monitor and do what they need to do. But very seldom are they called out. We're a community that love each other and stick together. Even when, I tell people, even when there was issue going on with segregation and all that, I was one that truly was sheltered from that, because we were a community that stuck together, that love each other and take care of each other. And that still happens today. Only 5 years ago, we had to start locking our doors. We know everybody. We love everybody. And we believe in taking care of everybody. So because of this, we want our land to stay the way it is. We want
Thank you, Ms. Sherry.
of it. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
No one else signed up.
All right. Any discussion? Close the public hearing? All right. Any discussion? Just right quick, housekeeping. Was the public notices put out? Nobody had a bent over sign in the ditch?
Yes, all the public notices were placed as they were required to be.
I will, for the record, say that I'm not in favor of this and the town hall meeting being on the same night. I was hoping to have Skylar Wasso here, to speak on that other thing. So I would like in the future that our calendars mesh a little better with.
That was beyond my control.
I understand.
This meeting's been every second Wednesday of every month for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Okay, discussion, commissioners? Those that can participate?
Yeah, just curious, what is the regulation or rule on the posting? Yeah, what is the
The sign has to be noticed in the paper for 3 consecutive weeks, and there has to be a sign placed on the property. What's the dates on the sign? 10 days before the meeting, I believe it is.
Yes, 10 days before. And
Yeah.
then the adjacent property owner letters go out 14 days before.
is that,
The sign has to be posted on the property that's being rezoned. It was noticed as it was required to be noticed.
I'm just gonna say, we probably, if it's this for something, we probably wanna consider that in the future, because I do hear this time and time again, a lot of people don't read the one paper it's posted in, and some kind of way of better notice of all of our applications, but, sir?
Yeah, the sign is posted, but what it happens after it's posted is beyond our control.
Okay, you got it.
All right. Wait. We're just among the commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Look, I understand where y'all are coming from, and this is always a very difficult thing. What we are looking at is this is part of a bigger overlay zone. This was identified back in even 2015 as the industrial overlay zone that was used to attract large-scale businesses, large-scale developments. Without this whole overlay zone and the whole planning that has gone into this, I'm sure now it's all public knowledge, but Hyundai is coming. And that's what's going to be in this area. So you've got Hyundai coming, you got CF Industries doing their expansion, and that's the billions of dollars, which is not just transcendental for the West Bank and the growth opportunities and the employment opportunities that I see it on the West Bank, but for all of Ascension and even Louisiana. This is happening, and this is better than anything that's happening in the whole country right now. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. What I want to say is the zoning information, so the people who actually own this land, they're the ones who are applying for the rezone. and they have that right to apply and ask for a rezone for anything like that. If you have your own land, you can actually request for your own rezone. So that's what is happening here. They are requesting a rezone. If it does pass a rezone or anything like that, we're making a recommendation, it goes to the council. The council makes those changes. If those things happen, then they have to decide what is actually going to be on that land. It becomes a planning issue. So just because the land is rezoned does not necessarily mean that specific things are going to happen. There is another level that does happen. I'll be honest to you, and look, Ms. Ashley, you said it right. I am concerned. Look, my parents' house was moved from Modest, so I'm familiar with your area. I'm a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish. My parents have had businesses in Donaldsonville, and my father was a representative of the West Bank for 12 years. So you've got somebody who does care about what you're saying. I just also see other potentials. But what you said, Ms. Ashley, was, you know, what can be done? This is what the Tebows, this is what all the people who held on to their land for years, this is finally their opportunity. And I don't necessarily 1,000% agree with it, but I also understand where they're coming from. I would love to see sugarcane fields everywhere. I was talking to somebody earlier that Pelican Point used to be a sugarcane field. And so, but that's what their progress, that's what they see, and that's their choice. At this point, honestly, the only thing I can say is, as much as I don't like that it's going to go from conservation, I'm going to make a recommendation to the council that we approve this change.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any other discussion, amendments? All right. Put it to a vote. Just to clarify, you have a motion to recommend approval.
Yes.
All right. All right. That motion passes. 5C, zoning review IDPZ 367825, 140 acres and 260 acres tract F north of McCall Bayou for Bell Sod Company. Located on the west side of LA Highway 1 north, approximately 6,800 feet north of LA Highway 405, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation to light industrial district, medium industrial, and heavy industrial. Is there an applicant here for this one? No. All right. We'll open to public comment. Is anyone signed to speak?
Would y'all like to speak again? Okay.
Welcome back, Ms. Ashley.
So I can be heard and it can be documented into the minutes. I do understand the plan from 2015 when the airport was supposed to be coming. I understand all of that. Of course, I always like to take ownership that I wasn't here in 2015 fighting this fight. I'm here in 2025, and I understand the billions of dollars that's being put into it. I do understand also the people that's asking for how their land to be zoned, that's their right to ask for it. I do think at some point, the leaders have to take into consideration the people that it affects, because that's the job of every voting representative. Your job is to represent constituents, giving them a fair job of filing their application to have their property rezoned is their right. I respect that 100%. As human beings and as representative of people, I would like to respectfully say, I would really like for you guys to consider the people that it affects. This is not a position of, I want to see no growth in my community, because I would like to oppose two things that were said. I would like Modest to stay the same. I would oppose that. Modesto is a beautiful community. I would love to see some trails, walking trails, some trail walks with trees, and supporting the conservation area that it is to support the things that can be done. When I travel, I see there's parks set aside for habitat to walk freely. I would like to see that type of stuff done. The United States and Louisiana have a lot of money set aside for conservation areas. That community does not have to remain an eyesore just because some people say industry is gonna make it better. There's beautiful homes in Modesto. I see some of those elderlies, there's still people gardening there. So yes, the owner do have a right to ask for their land to be rezoned. That's their right. But then you also I ask you guys to take into consideration all the other residents that bring in industry and go affect. Telling 90-year-old people, okay, pack up. They've been putting billions of dollars into this to develop, this community or develop. You're not developing a community. You're telling the community to get out. We want this property. And I read a book called the Louisiana Commodity, Louisiana, I forgot of politics. And all it states is, this has been the plan. Once sugarcane faded away, industry was the next move for the river. If I'd known what I knew now, I never would have moved that close to the river if I knew we were sold out such a long time ago. We've been sold out, but we're entitled to have our voice. I would like to respectfully address this council and respectfully give you to do your job, but your job is for the people. It's not for Hyundai. That is not your neighbors. That is not who you shop in the store with.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
Thank you.
Again, very well spoken.
I would just like to say, we understand it, and I apologize that our community is late on boarding with doing the things we need to do and advocating for ourselves. But now that we know better, when you know better, you do better. And they talk about the Hyundai plant, and we know that it was announced by the president and the governor and the parish president, but at no time did anyone talk about the residents. Nobody came to talk to anyone of us who lived there. We only was notified after it became known in the media. So I think that's unfair. So, and you talk about Hyundai being the place, the company and expanding and all that, but we need to somehow do our research. And based upon some information from the Korea Steel Mill, which is a Hyundai steel plant, number one, 3/14/2025, Hyundai Steel declares emergency status, slashes executive pay, source, Bill and Tech. Number two, 2/24/25, Hyundai Steel suspends cold rolled steel plants, Amit Stahl wage talk, source, MSN. Number three, Hyundai has billions in fines, including discrimination lawsuits and safety violation. Source, Good Job First, organized. So yes, we talk about industry, we talk about it coming in, but is this what we really want? Even when we talk about the chemical plants that's coming there to the Modesto area, we developing chemicals for another country and we calling it safe? No. You do have an obligation to the people, and we expect you to always consider people over profit. That is just the right thing to do.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley. We have any other speakers?
I have Miss Ellen Giat.
Ms. Ellen, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ellen Guillot, and I live at 3093 Urso Road, Donaldsonville, which is in the Burley-McCall area. So I'm not, in the Modesto area. However, where I live is a quiet community, and it's been that for years, because my dad lived there, and then he had property, and, we inherited it from him. And it's my understanding that the map zone or whatever goes all the way to Uso Road, which I was not aware of. And also, the only reason why I'm here is because my daughter received a certified letter about this meeting, and her property is adjacent to mine, and I never received a letter. So I think something needs to be corrected in notifying the residents of the areas affected by this change. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen.
No one else signed up.
All right, we'll close the public comment.
Thank y'all, Ann Rolfes. I appreciate y'all's time very much. And just Mr. Schexnayder, I just want to point out that the zoning commission, as I know that y'all well know, exists very purposely to create some order in the parish. So if if 10 people in Pelican Point get together and say, oh, we want to put an incinerator on our property collectively, and we're going to sell, and we're going to make a lot of money, and we just want you to rezone it, you would never let that happen. It's not an appropriate use for that area. So it's I think, a little bit disingenuous to say, well, it's the property owner, they get to choose what they want to do. They don't actually get to choose what they want to do. Y'all enforce it and allow things to happen. So if you're going to decide to change it and allow this, that's your decision. It's not as if your hands are tied because it's what the property owner wants. And I know that y'all know that, but I just want to get rid of that sort of excuse because it's not true. Just own it, please. The point has been made, but it is certainly worth repeating that people in this state and probably in this parish have flown to Japan to meet with Hyundai, but haven't driven to Modeste. That's pretty profound.
Actually, it's South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah, okay, I appreciate that. All right, so they've flown to South, great, so you even know that, great. So they've flown to South Korea. Japan, Mitsui from Japan is the primary investor in two of the ammonia plants. So probably Japan and South Korea. So thank you for the clarification. My point is made. This is not the only possible economics in this area, right? There's so much more that can be there. And the great thing is that the residents have ideas. I mean, I've gone to the neighborhood and people have told me all the things that they see as a vision for that area. And that's what should be happening here, not people, as Ashley said, willing to do things for some company in South Korea and bulldozing over their own neighbors. So thank y'all very much for your time, and I hope that y'all can do the right thing on this one. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ann. All right. I'll close the public comment period and open the floor to the commissioners. Proceed. Mr. Schexnayder.
Miss Ann, I just want to tell you, I take great offense to you coming up here and calling me disingenuous. I've served on the zoning commission and the planning commission for close to 7 years. And I've served this parish. I've done business in this parish. And I actually live here for 48 years. You ought to take that back.
All right.
That's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to say is, Miss Ashley, I respect the heck out of you. Thank you for coming up here. Thank you for saying everything you have. I agree with you 110%. I wish that I could just shake a magic 8-ball and say, hey, boom, 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 I want something else to come here. Unfortunately, somebody else is not coming necessarily that has put all these time and effort into different planning, different zoning recommendations, different overlay zones, all these other issues, master plans, and ideas for something, hopefully, let's hope, that's going to be very positive for our parish and our residents and everything. I hope and pray that in 10 to 15 years, y'all have family who are benefiting tremendously from this issue that's coming to the West Bank. That's what's been one of the biggest issues over the past 20 to 30 years is nothing happens in Donaldsonville. Donaldsonville is forgotten. The West Bank is forgotten. Modeste is forgotten. We can't get a subdivision passed on the West Bank. For 40 years, we haven't had a subdivision. And it's all because we haven't had a good economic-driven development. And I hope and pray that this is what it is. And yes, I'll live with the consequences if that's what it isn't. But I do share your sympathy. I've driven through Modeste more than most people. So, I'm sorry to get on a little soapbox. I apologize, Commissioner Miller, but that really was insulting, and I'm sorry I had to do that.
I will entertain a motion.
Motion for recommend approval to the parish council.
Second.
I'm gonna give it to Mark, he was on the draw. All right, we have a motion to recommend approval to the council. That motion passes. Staff report?
No report.
No report. All right. Next. Motion to adjourn.